building muscle has this beautiful hormonal response in your body, because the more muscle that you have, the fast your metabolism are going to work and more calorie you're gonna burn. Your body's gonna be working for you. First mistake is when you're trying to burn fat, prioritizing the Zumba, the dancing, the walking instead of resistance training. Second mistake is to follow a starvation diet. Because there's two things I learned. One, I never go hungry, because if I'm hungry, nobody can handle me. Two, in my house, the food is delicious. We want to build a lifestyle that you can live eating delicious and healthy food every single day. Tuck your butt in, because if I see this, I'm already feeling my lower back dry. See how little the difference is? Hip is gonna reach back like you're sitting. A lot of people don't go to muscle failure. They don't pay attention to exercise technique, or they just don't change the method variation enough. Hello. Welcome to the Hormone Optimization Week, episode number 2. Today, we're going to turbocharge your fat loss and tone your muscle. If you haven't watched the episode 1, go there. The episode 1, I showed you 2 mistakes that are keeping you from getting lean and tone. But now on episode 2, I'm gonna teach you step by step how to get your 1 in 90. 1 year in results in only 90 days of training. If you don't know me, my name is Adora Gama. I'm the creator of the Hormone Optimization Training. And during this entire week, I'm going to give you the step by step how you can learn and take your training to the next level by fixing every single mistake that right now you could be doing wrong. I get this question a lot. Am I still gonna get a lean body and a toned body if I wake up at home? Or do I actually have to go to the gym? Listen, your body doesn't know if you're at home or if you're gym. The only thing your muscles understand is the load. Listen this. They really want to see the definition of your body. You need to have the 4 foundation movement in your training. The 4 foundation movement that I'm going to teach you today. This movement cannot be out of your program. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're not advanced, you have to have the 4 movements. Are you ready? Out of the 4, the first one, it's called the knee dominant exercise. If you go to the gym, I promise you're gonna see everyone doing knee dominant exercise. They're doing squats, they're doing leg presses. It doesn't matter if they're men, they're women, if they're older, if they're lean, if they have to lose weight, if they have to gain weight, they're all doing some types and some form of squats. And that could be the squat with the bar in your back. It could be the squat in the front. It could be the goblet squat. And of course, my favorite, absolute favorite, the split squats, okay? The ones that you over here, and it's just a single regular squat, but it's done in a unilateral, one leg at a time, okay? So all those knee movements are going to be super, super important. You can use dumbbells, you can use kettlebells, anything, you can use bands. You can literally, if you're home, you can use a band like this, and the only thing you need to do is put the band back here, try your hair, or your mic. Go the band over here, and you're doing your squats. So see, your body doesn't care where you are. The body, the only thing your muscle is gonna need, that is funny. Look what happened to my mic. The only thing your body needs is the load, okay? So if you're doing all the knee movements, you're targeting your quads, you're targeting your hamstring, you're targeting the inner part of your leg. And if you're like, Isa, but I have knee problems, what I'm gonna do? Can I still do squats? Listen, you need knee dominance because they're part of your life. Think about this. Every time you have to get in and get out of the car, every time you sit on the couch, every time you get out of the couch, every time you go to the bathroom and you sit to pee, those are knee movements, okay? But now, even if you have a knee problem, that's why you need to make sure your muscles are strong. make sure your muscles are protecting your joints. We call this bulletproofing your joints. It's making sure you have the muscle strong so you don't overcompensating on your joints. Any exercise that we use the knees, for example, the squats, the split squats, the leg presses, okay, at the gym, that machine that you put your leg up and push, you notice that it's the knee that is the ones doing the whole work, okay? For the 4 movements that you need in every single training, the first one needs to be knee dominant. The second one is your hip dominant exercise. This one is extremely knee friendly, okay? So those one, you're gonna help you get the back of your legs stronger, okay? Your hamstring, your glutes, and also your lower back. Those are your deadlifts and all the variations of the deadlifts. So anything that I get, let me get a kettlebell here. This is how you set up for a kettlebell deadlift. Of course, you need a kettlebell a little bit heavier than this, but you stand on top of the kettlebell. Make sure the side of the kettlebell is aligned with bone inside your feet. Be on the side, okay? You get your hip and you hinge. Isa, what is a hinge? Hinge is when I push my hip away from me. I'm gonna do it again. See, my knees is not barely gonna move. Got it? So that's why you hinge, back's nice and straight. I grab my kettlebell. Now I can use my knee a little bit and I pull up. Push my butt out. That is a deadlift. One mistake that I see on the deadlift is a lot of people using knees on the deadlift. If you use your knee, that's no longer a hip dominant exercise. Does that make sense? So check this out. If I'm doing this, now I'm mixing a hinge, which is I'm pushing my butt away from me, with a knee. I see this so much. So now you know that when you're doing a deadlift, hip is pushing away from you. And exhale, of course, on the way up. Same thing with a single leg deadlift. Love single legs. We do this because it's very functional. Life is single leg, single arm, if you think about. But if I'm doing a single leg deadlift, which is everything's gonna be knee. So I soft my joints, never locked, we learned that yesterday. Soft my joint. What I'm gonna do, my kettlebell, it's gonna be pretty much I'm trying to drop on my big toe. And my foot is in the back, it's gonna kick nice and high. But this is perfect. So you notice that I'm not using my knees. Got it? Awesome. So promise, never again we use your knees when we're doing the hip dominant, okay? But if you ask, Isa, but do I need to do hip? I really like squats. Okay, but listen, think about this. During the day, when you drop something on the ground, how do you go get it? I'm gonna do it again. You hinge, you get your hip, and you just push away from you. So I'm dropping something on the ground, this is how I do. Normally we don't do this, right? We use our hip. That's the thing you would do. We hinge, this is natural. So that's why it's so important when we're focused on movements that in the gym or at home, we focus on those movements that you do throughout the day, but we're using with resistance, with bands, with weights. So this way you're gonna be stronger. And most likely, you're not gonna get hurt. You can avoid injury. So to start seeing definitions and tone your body, you really need to remember that you need the knee dominant exercise and the hip dominant exercise. Absolutely, you need to have those. Now, to build a strong foundation, okay, to start seeing results, you're gonna need to start lifting heavier. We talk about this, we talk about muscle failure. But in order to lift heavier, you need a stronger core. I got a question and it was great because I was like, I have to talk about this. I got a question, somebody saying this, Isa, why do we actually call core right now? Why we can't just call abs anymore? So there's a difference, and I want to tell you, the abs is just one part of the group that makes your core, for let's put it this way. So there's over 20 muscles that, including your lower back, all your abs, your hips, a little bit of your back, okay? Those muscles together, they make a core. So your core goes from here to here. Imagine like a tree trunk, okay? What the core does is it makes you stabilize your spine. It makes you stand upright. Now, the biggest question is, how do I make my core strength? The only thing I need to do is like abs? No, absolutely not. And I'm excited to tell you, like, have you stopped to notice, especially nowadays that everybody's working from home, our posture? Have you started to notice that our posture is like head forward? Why? Because we're on a phone, we're on a computer. Our head's forward, our back's forward, our chest and abs are super tight, right? We spend the entire day like this. Now, are you telling me that some trainers, or you go to the gym and you do exactly the same thing? The thing that we're trying to fix, the thing that you're trying to avoid. I know, I'm gonna pause and let you think a little bit. The movements that we're trying to avoid throughout the day, you tell me that you're going to the gym and you're doing this even more to make this even tighter. So, Isa, so I can't do crunches and sit-ups anymore? What can I do instead? I'm gonna try to explain this in a simple way, okay? Think about this. I told you that we need to lift heavier, right? And if we only lift heavier, that means we need to stay in that good posture. Does that make sense? While we used to believe that in order to make this stronger, we have to be twisting, bending, and doing all those sit-up things. Why not just focus on holding and sustaining this good posture? And you're like, whoa, that actually makes sense. Because if you think about the job of your abs is actually hold your guts throughout the day. I have a mentor, his name is Mike Boyle. He's one of the foremost experts on the field of fitness and movement. He called anti-movement, meaning you have to prevent your body from moving, which is perfect. And you're like, Isa, what is that? A plank is anti-movement. You're preventing your butt to stick out. Let me show you. So if I'm doing a plank, my job is to not let my butt stick out. My butt's bring in. So this is, I'm preventing my body from move. Does that make sense? Beautiful. But now, this is important. On Friday, I'm gonna give you an ebook where I explain this everything for you, and with 45 exercises that will make your core super, super strong. Now, I don't have to say that none of this is gonna have a crunch, right? So we already learned that we need a strong core, and we need hip dominant exercise, and we need knee dominant exercise. Now I'm gonna teach you the third exercise out of the four, which is your push exercise. Anything that I push away from me, it could be on the horizontal line, it could be on the vertical line, like anything that I push here, anything that I push here, those movements, you need to have them in your program. So for example, if I'm doing a shoulder press, okay, I'm over here, I'm doing a single arm, push my elbow next to me, and I'm pushing wrong arm because it's opposite arm, I'm just gonna push away and exhale. Why do I like single arms? Because this way I'm gonna also keep my core strong. Anything that I push away, example, another example. If I do a push-up, I'm pushing away. Now, if you think about this, anything that I push away, I'm gonna work my chest. Every time I extend my arms, I'm gonna work my triceps. And everything that I push up, work my shoulder. If you think about, you're like, whoa, but Isa, I know you've been saying this, You know, I get at the fundamentals exercise, but what I really, really want is to have my butt strong. I really want my butt strong. So let me try to explain this in a simple way. Think about this. Think about a cake. Every time you're gonna do a cake, you need certain ingredients. You need the sugar, you need the baking powder, you need the flour in order to make the batter. So it doesn't matter what kind of cake you want, you still need those. Is that correct? Those are your 4 foundation exercise. The butt is the toppings, is the flavor of the cake. I'm gonna pause so you can like, whoa. I cannot just bake a cake, focus on the chocolate because I want a chocolate cake. I can't eat the cake if I'm only putting chocolate. So think about this. In order to get your butt strong, in order to get your triceps strong, you need the foundation exercise. In order to get your butt strong, you cannot keep following the girls on Instagram where they only teach you butt exercise and you save about 500 of those. And when you get to the gym, you're like, okay, so let's go. I'm actually going to do this exercise today. Okay, the kick back. And then now I'm gonna do this one. This one is really good for butt. I heard that. Oh, we can't forget the bridges. But then you end up doing 200, 300 of isolation exercise. Isolation is when you only use one joint. Isolation is your icing of the cake, is your chocolate, is your vanilla, is your red velvet, is your carrot. You cannot make your butt go strong if you don't even do heavier squats. I'm gonna pause for a second. Cannot make your butt strong if you don't have a foundation. If you don't work on your foundation, stop doing the isolation. Stop going to the gym and just doing triceps if you don't do any push. This is good. I know this is good. Don't focus on the flavor of the cake. Don't focus on the flavor of the cake. Do you see the relation? We need to focus on the batter. We need to focus on the foundation. We're all good. Okay, we only have one more to go. Those are your pull exercise. Anything that I bring towards me, for example, a bend over. We did a roll yesterday. Let me do a bend over here. If I'm doing a bend over, I'm hinging, check this out, pushing my butt away from me. And now my neck's not up, my neck's aligned with my spine, and I'm pulling. And I'm pulling with my back, because you already learned that yesterday. Anything that I'm pulling towards me, could be a biceps, could be a roll, the pull down in the gym. All those are going to work your back and your biceps. But before, a lot of people used to call, oh, I'm gonna do a back exercise today. Today's my chest day, today's my butt day. Let's start thinking movements. Let's start thinking foundation. So this way you can make your batter, your cake batter strong. And then we'll think about the flavor next. So now remember, your body doesn't know where you are. You could be at home, you could be at the gym. But you need to start focus on those 4 foundation movements. Your knee exercises, your hip exercises, your pull and your push. Now, for example, me, when I work out, I love to focus on my legs and I love to focus on my butt. I can do butt exercise. Why? Because I have in my program a strong foundation. So I could add the butt exercise. I cannot just do butt exercise, only butt, but I can add the butt to my foundation. Does that make sense? To resume everything that I just said, just tell you need a strong base. You need a strong foundation. The complements, the toppings, you're gonna be adding. I'm gonna be adding more core, I'm gonna be adding more triceps, I'm gonna be adding more butt. But you need to understand this. You need to have this strong foundation. Awesome. Now, the next part is super, super important. I think after this is the second part more important. Now, if you're like, okay, Isa, I got it. I need to do what I learned yesterday. Episode number 1, I learned that we need to go to muscle failure. And I know that I need some method variation, but what should I do? There are more than 10, 20 different types of method. But the only thing you need to understand is you need to change the training that you are. So for example, have you met somebody that had great results and someday they stopped, they get stuck, they could not see the scale moving or they could not losing weight? We call this a plateau. We call this a plateau when you stop seeing changes. The only thing you need to do to get out of the plateau is change your method of training. Yes, that's it. Change your food a little bit and change the method of training. For example, what I do with my clients, I change their method of training every 4 weeks. Why? Because every 4 weeks it's enough time to your body start to relaxing, but then you like different stimulus, different training. So for example, one of my clients this month, for example, they're gonna do about 45 seconds rest. 4 weeks later, I'm gonna tell them, hey, you're only gonna do 15 seconds rest. And you're like, whoa, that makes a lot of difference. Rest is such an important piece. If you're the type of the person that goes to the gym and you're like, oh, 3 sets of 10. Okay, I'll go here, I got my goblet squats, and you're like 1, 2, 3, mechanics really good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. Do not go to muscle failure and you start talking to your friends. You're like, hey, how's everything? And you don't look to watch. See, that's why I call, when you go to the gym or you do it at home, I call it training. Why? Because your rest time is gonna be huge. Your rest time, you need to follow the rest time. I promise you, 15 seconds and 30 seconds, it's gonna make a huge difference. If you don't follow those things, you're not gonna have the results that you want. Another method, it's called the isometric hold, for example. I can get a bicep curl, okay? And I can go back here, hold. Isometric, that means no moving. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know some of my clients are like, no, I hate that one. 4, 5. Okay? All the way. I change the method in a kind of structured way. But that's the most important thing you need to understand is you have to change. Okay? But cannot stay too long in a method. I have one more method to show you guys. It's called the rest and pause. It's a superset, but you only take 10 seconds in rest. So I can do a push-up. I can do a push-up. You're gonna go to your push-up. Okay? That's not gonna be pretty, but let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, it's getting slower. 11, 12, 13. Up, and then I go. 10 seconds rest. Only 10 seconds, and I'm gonna go again. Okay? 5, 6, 7, 9, go. Ooh, it's not gonna go more than 6. 4, 5, 6. I know my body way too well. 10 seconds again. And I'm gonna do one more time. 3, 2, 1. See, this is training. If I can do 3, I'm happy. Yeah, stay. Okay, this was 1. Oh, that was 1 set. 3 exercises, 10 seconds rest. That was 1 set. So it depends which client I have. Sometimes I can do 2 of those, sometimes I can do even 3 of those. But all those 3 together is just 1 set. I need some water. I need to stop doing that. And the camera, I got too windy. Like I said, there's over 10, 20 different methods. Have you met somebody that are stuck in the same training plan for the whole year? The only thing they do is, I'm gonna go for walking now. I'm gonna go for jogging now. I'm doing spinning. And then they're like, oh, I don't see results. I don't see results. The only thing you can do to get out of a plateau is simply change the stimulus, is simply change the style of the training. Okay, and if you don't want to get to a plateau, constantly change, again and again, again and again. As soon as your body starts getting too comfortable, you're like, boom, different stimulus. As soon as your body starts getting too comfortable, another stimulus. And if you're doing this, if you're stuck on the same training, just doing your cardio, just doing your spinning, just doing the same workouts, do me a favor, stop. You can still do your walkings, you can still do your things, but that's because of here. That's because we need the fresh air, we need to go out. If you're not pushing your muscles to fatigue, you're not gonna have the toned body you want. I said that in the first episode, I'm repeating that. It's not by sweating. I'm gonna say another thing about sweating. Imagine that if we're just gonna be for sweating, we could go sit on the sauna and just stay. But some people tell me that like they need to be sweaty, they need to be dying in order to think they have results. Go to the sauna. I'm dying every time I go to the dry sauna. I sit down there and I'm like sweating like a crazy person. It's not only about the sweat. It's not about the sweat. Your sweat is just tells your skin, just your body's telling your skin to cool off. That's why we sweat. Stop stressing about the sweat. Stop stressing about this guy. This is such a big misconception. You do not need to be exhausted, dying on the ground in order to see results. I know today was a lot of information, and some of you guys have a few questions. What I'm gonna ask you, and I know in my head, it's like, oh, Isa, it's so easy for you because you spend half of your life studying this. You know, you went to school, you learned physiology, you learned all those things. But this is too important for you. You need to understand the basics. This is just the basics, okay? Now, should you have me do me a favor? Go to the Facebook group. If you have any question, use the hashtag #AskIsa. I am collecting all the questions, and on the 3rd episode, on the Friday episode, I'm gonna come here only answering questions. Another thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you're on my Instagram, because I'm sharing with you all the great tips that I'm giving to you. Everything you need, it's gonna be there. Now, if you're here, it's because you wanna go to the next level. I'm gonna give you this step by step. I do have this step by step. Some people are already asking, hey, Isa, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? I do have so many problems. Do you have a program? I do have a program, and I'm actually open spots for my new program on Sunday the 22nd. But it's not about the program. It's about you coming here and being here this whole week, coming tomorrow for the workout and learning. I don't know if you're gonna get a spot or not. The team's too small, okay? But don't worry about this. Make sure you get everything. Make sure you're sitting, taking notes. Rewatch this class, rewatch the first one. Take notes, get everything, ask questions. Ask questions in the Facebook group. I'm gonna write down everything. And on Thursday, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna see you in the workout in the morning. I'm gonna record the workout, also put on the Facebook group. And on Friday, we're gonna have our last episode. And I'm gonna give you a lot of materials as well. I have 3 presents for you. I have 3 ebooks for you. With the core that I promised today, I have another one secret, and I have another one which how to destroy your belly fat. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, do me a favor. When you're watching this video, let's spread the message. Take a selfie with the video. Tag me. I would love to tag you back. Let's spread the message because more people need to listen to this. More people need to stop doing crunches. Okay? More people need to start taking care of their bodies. And on Friday, I'll be back here to answer all your questions. It was such an amazing pleasure to be with you. And I'll see you tomorrow and Friday. Let's go.